gonna go a lot better.
Right. Hello, Morteza. How are you today?
Good yourself?
I'm good. So, can you introduce yourself? Who is Morteza?
Yeah.
What's your
So
story?
my name is Murtaza. I'm 22 years old. I'm an entrepreneur. I studied in CJEP the Valley Field for 4 years. I used to be a student athlete, aspiring to become a professional basketball player. And life has brought me elsewhere, and for many good reasons. And yeah, that's who I am.
Great. And what broke that dream of yours to become an athlete?
Um, I think a lot of circumstances had made it that I wanted to change courses in life. I was going to CJEP for 4 years in computer science, and I didn't like school already. That was one thing. But the second thing is that I worked very hard for to have to get to where I was in terms of basketball. Although I wasn't the most talented, I worked really hard. And although with all that hard work, I got injured a lot. I took care of myself, but I still got hurt a lot. And the last injury that I had got was I tore my ACL, and it really got me into a dilemma of life and a identity crisis where I didn't know what to do with my life. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I decided that I wanted to do something for myself, which was to pursue the entrepreneurial side of life, and that's where I'm at right now in life, and that's how I decided that I'm going to change courses.
Great. And how did you manage to deal with this difficult moment? A lot of people have their broken dreams. So, what was your process?
It was very difficult. It was a very big identity crisis. Like I said previously, it's super difficult. I go from doing physical activity every single day, eating the way, not the way how I want, but eating in a more bulk manner where I'm able to eat kind of whatever I want and still, be in good shape because I'm burning so many calories. And all that in the span of one day, just gone. And for me, it was a huge breakdown. Like I went through a time where like I didn't know what I was doing anymore. Like I felt like I was literally lost. um it was, like I said, a huge identity crisis. But to go through it, I tend to bounce back quick. So I try to look forward in life and look at the bright side of things, and I saw it as a sign for me to pursue different things in life. So I tried to see it in that perspective, and that's how I pursued it. So, and what I mean is that I kept myself motivated by, you know, wanting to do better for myself in terms of financial, spiritual, and physical. And I always tried to pursue that. And I also had, the supporting cast. My wife was always there for me. So she really pushed me through all of it. It was really difficult during certain times, but I think what made it easier was the people who were around me, and just my philosophy of life of just having to still stay strong and get back on my feet as soon as possible, in order to pursue whatever other dreams that I have. And since that, I always put a lot of energy into a lot of things that I used to do or that I still do today. I think being I just need to find something to put my energy into. And how I what I did is that I started my own clothing brand, and that's where I was able to kind of taste the side of entrepreneurial. I loved putting energy into something that I was doing for me, and it was super easy to translate the energy that I was doing, that I had for basketball and my physical activity on a daily basis, and just put it and focus it on my entrepreneur on my company. So it was very easy for me to kind of dedicate a lot of energy into that side of the company, and that's how I got through that hard time of breaking one dream but kind of building another one.
Great. And what clicked? How did you know that entrepreneurship was for you?
I think for me, I was always told as a kid that to be successful in life is you're gonna have to go to school, get a degree, get a master's degree, study as much as possible, and get a good job in order to have a nice car, have a nice house. Depends on what you want in life, but those are the things I was told as a child, to be able to be successful in life. Um, I never believed in it, whether my parents told me or family members told me or cousins or whoever may be that told me that that was the way to succeed in life. I never believed in it. Why? Because how can you be different from others by doing the same thing that everyone is doing? So everyone goes to school. Everyone decides to pick the safe route and go to school and get a good stable job, work 8 to 5 every single day, work your life away. And you see it every day. I saw my parents, I saw my dad. He worked hard, and I applaud him for that. He worked hard, waking up every morning to provide food on the table. But I always knew that there was something better in life. And eventually when you see on social media, you look on social media, and reality is not all social media is lies, right? You look at people who are successful in life, who is making money, like if it's literally growing on a tree, and you question yourself and you ask yourself, how is it that they make this money? And I always believed in another idea than from 8 to 5, that 8 to 5 job, 8 to 5 life. I never believed in it. And how it clicked to me, honestly, I just never believed in it in the first place. I always believed in something else. I always believed in doing something you love, even if it costs you more time. But if you're doing it for you and something that you loved, I always believed in it. So for me, it's not something that really specifically clicked. I'd say that I always believed in the idea of working for yourself, working for you on your own time, and doing something that you love rather than doing something for working for someone who doesn't really care about you, right? Like for big companies like, Walmart, Costco, whatever it may be, you're just a number. You're literally just a number who's, you're going to pay them, but they're bringing you revenue because, that they're selling products and they don't really care about you. So you're just a number. And that's how I always saw it. And yeah, that's how I decided that I wanted to pursue something that was for me, which was basketball at the time, but now it's entrepreneurial side of things.
And that's interesting. So where do you think you have this mindset? Where does it come from?
I think I grew into that. I think as a kid, I worked a lot. Whether it was outside with my parents, or at jobs, I have a lot of experience in terms of work. I think that I grew into that person, that this belief that everyone was telling me to do. I just felt like it wasn't right for me. I felt like there was much more to life than working your life away, paying taxes. It's okay, paying taxes, paying RSP and all these contributions for your retirement plan. And it's like, to me it was crazy that people are thinking about their retirement at the age of 23 years old. And it's okay for people to think that way, and I respect those people, because without those people today, the society wouldn't be functioning without doctors or lawyers or whatever it may be. But I just never felt like it was for me. And I grew always to believe that I wanted to work for myself and do what's best for me and not for someone else. Although it may be kind of selfish in some way, selfless, but the reality is that a lot of people today are selfish, are selfish. um I do want to help people who are in need, one day when I do have the ability to, and I try to do that. But no, I definitely think I grew into it. As a kid, I always believed, to pursue your dreams, and that's what I wanted to do. And I was willing to do whatever it takes in order to succeed. And literally, like, I tattooed it on my arm. Um, it was a philosophy that I always believed and stood by. As when I graduated high school, you know, when you write those quotes under your book, well, my quote was "I will die trying," and that's the philosophy I live by, and that's what I tattooed on myself here in Japanese. But yeah, I think I just really grew into it. I never believed in that system, so yeah.
Excellent. And you mentioned your relationship with your parents. How is it going now that you have a, you know, you're trying to build something for yourself?
It's definitely difficult. It's always been on a very difficult um point. It's I'm the older brother in my family, so you know, it's family for me was always something that I held to my heart. I love my siblings, I love my family. But unfortunately, I think that the differences of my thoughts kind of drove me away from my parents, particularly my father, which what makes our relationship very difficult today. I'm a person who, you know, who likes to state what I think, and I don't just sit by whatever people say because they think they think that's the right way and that's the only way. I don't believe it and I don't stand by it. If you have a better way of doing things, I will listen to you. But if you think you're the only person who's right in life, I don't think I could stand by and listen to you. You know, everyone is meant to improve in life, and I feel like that's what kind of drove me away from my family in some way. So today, my relationship with my family is very difficult. I wish it was different. And you know, like it's kind of so. I took a big risk also, you know, by leaving my parents at the age of 17 because of those, you know, different because of those reasons and those differences of thought processes. Because I wanted to pursue what I wanted to do in life, and my parents didn't really approve of that. They weren't very supportive. I At least I didn't feel supported by my family. Although you know I'm super grateful for taking care of me for my whole life. You know, but after you know a certain age, I felt like everything was just kind of because I handed to you that you should respect me, and there was no reciprocal, you know, like there was no respect towards me as a child. And you know, as a kid, you kind of grow up to you grow up to kind of realize that when you grow up, like your parents, as much as you respect them, you think that they also should respect you, and if they don't respect you for your opinion or anything else, then at some point there's gonna be a clash, and that's where you know it was very difficult in my parents' relationship. Is that with me and them, that since I was so different and you know I always wanted to pursue what I wanted to do, they thought that they knew what was best for me, and I respect that. But I didn't believe in the idea since a very young age about the, like I said, 8 to 5. I never believed in that system, and I wanted to pursue what I wanted to do, and they didn't want that. So that's why I left at the age of 17 to kind of pursue my dreams and what I wanted to do.
Great. Now coming to what you're currently doing, can you explain what's the business about?
Yeah, so I currently have two businesses. So I have a clothing brand, which is kind of on pause right now, on hold. But I also have a garage cleaning service. So as of right now, as I am aware, from what I'm aware of, the only one in Quebec to be one of the bigger garage cleaning services. That's what I currently do right now.
And why are you saying you're one of the bigger or the maybe the only person who offered this service so far?
So I think that I did a lot of research in Quebec. There's a lot of residential cleaning services. So you know, cleaning houses, cleaning homes, or cleaning apartments, having you know a housemaid in order to clean out their houses. But I've never seen a garage cleaning service in Montreal. If there is any, it's very little, or it's in a very small community, or it's a solo person who's just you know offering those services to a couple of people. But as of right now, I think that you know I am one of the only ones, or if not the only official garage cleaning service business in Montreal or in Quebec.
Great. And can you describe a bit your services? What do you do exactly? Is it deep cleaning, replanning the garage, organization?
Yeah, so it depends really on the client's needs, but what we do offer is cleaning, reorganizing, deep cleaning, refresh of walls, so refresh of the whole garage basically. So where we would paint all of your walls. So those are some of the service that we do include in our garage cleaning service.
Great. And can you describe one of the biggest transformation you had so far?
Yeah, so far, so our first client was actually our biggest transformation so far. His name is Vincent, and basically he had a two big, like a big garage basically, where he owns a company where he puts old cars who are non-functional anymore on the road, and he had two big cars in the garage, like kind of like one on a lift and one under the lift, and basically had so many things just everywhere, scattered everywhere on racks, and um, his cars, and so many things on the ground, like things that you can't even imagine of. Like it's crazy how many things there were. And basically, we came in first day. I was literally discouraged. Like I came in, I watched a video because we asked for clients to send us videos before we come in, and I saw the video and I was like, wow, it looks really crazy. And when I saw it in person, I was like discouraged almost, and honestly, like discouraged in the first moment, but after I got really motivated to do it, I was really happy to do it. It took us 3 days to get the job done. The first day we emptied everything out. Um, we emptied everything out. We took out all the cars. We took out everything from A to Z, everything. On the second day, we filtered everything. So we cleaned and filtered. So making sure that whatever he didn't need anymore, we put it, in garbage or whatever he wanted to put it at. And then we filtered a lot of the things. So, for example, if he had like sports items, we put it in a box with sports items. He had a lot of fishing stuff, so he wanted to bring those things back in a bin or a couple of boxes. So we filtered everything out and made sure that everything goes together. So we filtered everything out on day two and cleaned everything out, and we also painted his walls. So we hired a professional team to paint the walls, which gave it a super clean look because everything was so dirty on the walls. It was disgusting almost. And then on day three, we had to come back the week after because the client wanted to epoxy his floor. So he wanted to redo his floor completely because the garage was, obviously hideous. So he redid his garage floor, and we came back the week after and we placed everything out in a more optimistical way where he can place basically 2 3 cars inside because he has a really big garage. So everything was placed in a way where it was ergonomic, it was clean, and really the transformation is day and night, super super crazy.
Excellent. And what would you say was the craziest item you found in a garage?
So our craziest item was actually at our second client, and basically we didn't find the items, like, but we saw the box and some of the stuff were in there, but there was some spicy stuff in there, like the box, you could already see like there was a spicy imagery on there. And then we saw some other items that were in there, and we were shocked. We were shocked.
Now coming back maybe more to the genesis of the business, how did you come up with the name?
Yeah, so we used our tools, right? We used ChatGPT, to be honest with you. We asked ChatGPT to generate a bunch of different names, and we wanted to, we gave it some different prompts, make sure that it just gives us the most optimistic or refined results that we wanted. And our Haven space kind of had that general, but also, safe space, giving people that safe space. We didn't want to name it something with garage because we felt like it was too niched down. Because we still offer cleaning services, for, let's say, someone's basement. Um, and that's also, I feel like if we had mentioned garage into the business name, like Pimp My Garage or Garage Reset, which was one of the names that came up, I feel like it would have been too niche down, and a lot of people wouldn't have contacted us for different demands. So, for example, we had a client who wanted us to just like completely empty out his storage. So I couldn't have imagined if that client had just garage in the name. I don't think he would have contacted us, or even one of the other clients that we had was completely cleaning out his basement. So we wanted to have something, in a more general manner.
Excellent. And you mentioned that I think that your wife has played a big part in that business. Can you describe that?
Yeah, she's played a huge part in my life. Obviously, being married at the age of 22 is quite young for a couple of people. I got married at 20. Um, it's She plays a big role in my life, obviously. But in terms of the business, she pushes me every single day. She pushes me. She wants I want the better for her, because she works so hard. And I applaud her for working hard every single day. She works full time, and every day, whether she comes back home, and she still does anything in order to help me out, in order to push me. And even on the days that she is off, she comes and works with me. So truly, I applaud my wife in so many ways for supporting me. And without her, I don't think a lot of these things that I'm doing today would be things that I'd be doing today. I feel like I'd be elsewhere in my life, and I'm super, super grateful for her.
Great. Now, coming back to a lighter like part of the interview, who is Mortaza outside of your professional life? What do you do? Do you have hobbies?
Yeah, so obviously my name is Murtaza. I'm half Pakistani, half Filipino. Crazy mix. I'm 22 years old. I have quite a bit of hobbies. So obviously, basketball, sports have always been something that's been a part of my life. And 6 months now since I've got surgery, and I'm slowly getting back into the sport that I so dearly love. I cannot imagine life without basketball. For me, honestly, like it's crazy. I have to be implemented in some type of system of basketball. So I'm slowly getting back into basketball, slowly playing again basketball. I do love video games. Although I do love video games, I had to get rid of all my gaming systems to fully focus on the business and fully invest into the business. But I do, from time to time, play on my phone a couple of games. But I'm a big brother. I'm a big brother. I feel like I want to lead people to become the best version of themselves. I want to inspire people. I feel like I've been a role model for a lot of my life. In terms of even in my family, a lot of my siblings look up to me, especially my little brother, which I so dearly miss. And I've been a team captain for my basketball team for a long, long time as well. So I've always had that sense of leadership. I want to be the best version of myself every single day. I pursue that every single day. That's something I live by. 1%, to become 1% better every single day in whatever aspect of life, whether it's spiritually, financially, physically, mentally, in all aspects of life. I want to better myself. And I pursue that every single day, no matter what. And like I said previously, I tattooed that on my hand that I will die trying. And that's a philosophy I live by every single day.
So that's very interesting, and thank you for coming back to the tattoo. I was curious about it. Why did you write it in kanji?
Yeah, so I wrote it in that language because I watched a lot of anime in my life, and anime was a big part of my life. And today, sometimes I do watch, from time to time. And Japanese has held an emotional part of my life because of anime. How there's a lot of things that I learned in anime that you never think that you would learn in cartoons. So a lot of deep philosophies, for example, Naruto, always to never give up on your dreams, to never give up on yourself. That's my favorite anime, by the way. But that's basically the main reason why I tattooed it in Japanese, because anime has been a big part of my life. And yeah.
Great.
Yeah, so I was doing the 75 hard, which I failed once again. But I tried to always keep myself challenged physically, in order to, pursue the best shape of my life. 2 years ago, I was in the best shape of my life and I lost it all because, I got injured and everything, kind of went downhill. But in order for me to, kind of um, keep myself, somewhat disciplined, I always try to give myself a challenge in order to stay disciplined. For me, it's easy to target objectives. So, for example, if I have a set of rules that I need to follow, then it's very easy for me to just go by that and then hit my objectives. And in the last 2 months, I lost 15 pounds. So for me, it's very easy to have the objectives very clear and have those set of rules. And that's where 75 hard came in. And I was doing it. I stopped doing it, but it still brought me into the good routine of doing things the right way, eating proper foods, doing physical activity almost every single day again. And that's where 75 hard came in. Although I don't continue it, it still brought me into a very, very good routine.
Great. So thank you for sharing everything, Murtaza. Would you like to leave us with a little message you have in mind, please?
Yeah, thank you for having me, first of all. And for the younger generation, although I'm not that old yet, people call me Unk in my basketball team because I'm the older guy in the team. But for the younger guys and just for everybody, um, it's difficult to see, but pursue your dreams. Pursue your dreams. Don't think about plan B. Focus on plan A. Have a plan A and go all in on plan A, because the only time that you're gonna fail is the time that you decide that you're gonna give up on your dreams. And if your dreams alter, that's okay, but pursue your dream. Pursue your dream. Where a lot of people who live in our society today in Canada, whoever lives in Canada, we have the ability and the how can I say, we have the gift to be able to live in a society where we are allowed to live our life to the fullest, unlike others. Some people are not able to live the life that we are currently living, and we should pursue what we think is best for us, and take advice from the people who you truly, deem important to you. But no matter what, pursue whatever dream you have. Don't listen to all the haters. Don't listen to whatever people say. You're gonna have haters. You're gonna have people who doubt you. You're gonna have people who think that you shouldn't fully invest into yourself. And those same people are the people who are living miserably. And whether it's at the age of 30, living working 8 to 5 every single day. And by all means, that's okay, because that's how the world functions. And without those people, we wouldn't have a lot of the things that we have today. But for all those big dreamers, pursue your dreams. Go all in. Don't ever think about plan B, and just go all in on plan A. And that's all I gotta say.